Welcome to Prelude to Ulysses. This is Alex Reed's Littler Things. We'll be back in a second. Haven't done one of these in a while. Had a medical whoopsie doodle that prevented me from doing a lot of stuff for a little while. So we're just going to be reading something different because I don't have any of my books because I'm staying somewhere else right now. We're going to be reading out of Shuij Trig Siritus Trash. Oh, Great Jewish Short Stories by Saul Below. Do you have skeletons in your closet? Nah, it's all below. It's all below. It's all below the surface. Fuck. Okay. Hey, sorry about that comment. We'll edit that out. So today we're going to be reading out of Great Jewish Short Stories, edited and introduced by Saul Bellow. Now, a lot of these pages come right out of this book, so I wish I didn't do that. I did find one I was going to read. It was short. The Lord helpeth man and beast. I don't know about that one. God, well, fuck. I messed all this up, didn't I? 37, 38, 39, 40. Okay, so we got 40. Yeah, so I got this. Okay, not that one. That's not the right page. This neurological disease that turned me into a quadriplegic. And I wasn't able to talk or walk or do anything for quite a while. So we are about to, well, I did one while I was in the hospital. All right, well, we'll just read this piece of paper here. Or which one? You want to read this one? No, we're not going to be doing that. Okay. Jewish short stories. This one's by, doesn't say. So above it has a little thing that it's, it's probably like a little intro statement if you can look at this. So this is the thing we're going to be reading, but this is the thing I'm going to read first. I'm not sure if it's related. The term Haggadah is derived from the Hebrew verb higid. Oh, interesting. To tell or to relate. So I'm about to higid a story. The Haggadah is a body of rabbinical tales of or pertaining to rabbi mouths or written word. It is defined by Webster as collectively. What? To tell or relate, but it's also collectively the non-legal portion of rabbinical literature that exegesis or exposition of the scriptures, consisting chiefly in imaginative developments of thoughts suggested by the text. This and the tale following are from the Haggadah. All right, I don't know what the fuck that means. So the term Haggadah is what this story. The Haggadah is some collection of stories coming from the word Haggad, which means to relate. But higid, also means collectively the non-legal portion of rabbinical literature that exegesis. I don't have a dictionary. Oh, I do. Hey, welcome back. EXEGIS. enact, epigrane, erudite, eventful, facetious, expansion, expect, exotic, exocrine. What was I doing? EXEGIS. Wait, is that it? What is it? Execrate, executive, exhale, exercise, exempt, EXE, execute, executive, executrix. That's a good word. Exegesis. Exegesis. Critical exposition or interpretation, especially of scripture. So it says that exegesis or exposition, but the definition of exegesis is critical exposition. So I feel like they didn't really have to say that, but okay, here we go. So exposition or exposition of the scriptures so it's collectively the non-legal portion of rabbinical literature. I guess the collection, most of rabbinical literature is, or at least enough to have to define that this is not a part of the legal portion of rabbinical literature. That, whatever. Fuck. So this is non-legal? What does that fucking mean? That it's not legal or it's not pertaining to legality? And so what? There's mostly laws? Yeah, I guess that makes sense. The Jews are just full of laws. Don't say Jews anymore, I don't think. The Jaws. I don't know. I don't feel like that should be bad, but it feels bad, and I don't know why exactly. So we'll say the Jaws. No, don't. Okay. Defined by Webster as collectively the non-legal portion of rabbinical literature. I'm assuming that's stories or fiction or whatever. That exposition of the scriptures consisting chiefly in imaginative developments of thoughts suggested by the text. What text? I'm guessing the text is something else. The text of the Bible, because it wouldn't be pertaining to the text of the Haggadah, because this is the definition of what the Haggadah is. That consists in trying to figure out and understand the imaginative developments of thoughts suggested by the text. I'm assuming the text is the Bible. Okay, whatever. This and the tale following are from the Haggadah. All right, so let's get started. The Lord helpeth man and beast. I'm able to drink now. I wasn't able to eat or drink for 100 and some odd days. Can't play music anymore really too much. I have not paralysis, but numbness. During his march to conquer the world, Alexander the Macedonian came to a people in Africa who dwelt in a remote and secluded corner in peaceful huts, and knew neither war nor conqueror. They led him to the hut of their chief, who received him hospitably, and placed before him golden dates, golden figs, and bread of gold. Not good for your teeth, eating metal fruits and bread, but whatever. Do you eat gold in this country? Oh, for reals. Said Alexander. Do you eat gold in this country? Said Alexander. Asked Alexander. I take it for granted, replied the chief, that thou wert able to find eatable food. Wert, W-E-R-T, able to find, does that mean can or cannot? Wert. I take it for granted that thou wert able to find eatable food in thine own country. For what reason, then, art thou come amongst us? I don't know what that sentence means. Your gold has not tempted me hither, said Alexander, but I would become acquainted with your manners and customs. So he says, um, so he shows up. The main mayor of Africa says that here's a bunch of gold food, and Alex is like, is this just gold? You like eat it? And he's like, yeah, I kind of take it for granted. But do you not have gold that you eat? And then Alexander says, I'm not here for gold. It's because I want to hang out with you, because it's your personality. But I haven't heard anything good about anyone named Alexander. So be it, rejoined the other. Sojourn among us as long as it pleaseth thee. Sojourn. Excuse me. Sorry, we'll edit that out. Sojourn, what do you think that word means? Sojourn. LMNOPQRS. Secrecy. Self-doubt. Serenade. Sextant. What is that? Is that where you look at the ocean? Sextet. It's a group of 6 instruments or voices. What was I doing? Sojourn. Sheep. Shoulder. Simulate. Skillet. Slouch. Smear. Saw. Soften. A B C D E F G H I J A B C D E F G H I J K L. Oh, it's in here. It's in here somewhere. All right, I'm a softball to soluble. H-I-J. Sojourn. Goes straight from soiree, S-W-S-O-I-R-E-E, to soul, S-O-L. You'd be surprised how many definitions of soul there are. So soiree or soiree is a social gathering in the evening. Then there's sojourn. We'll read that in a second. And then so soul, S-O-L, is a name for the 5th note of a scale in music. I still kind of can play a little bit. So if we were playing in the key of wherever that is, that'd be the soul. Okay. Sorry, let's get started. No, we didn't look up what sojourn meant. SOL number 2 is a liquid solution or suspension of colloid. C-O-L-L-O-I-D. What the fuck is that? Celibate. L-M-N. Congratulatory. Come hither. Coercive. Come on, man. C-O-L? L? Is it colloid? C-O-L-L-O-I-D. Collarbone, collateral, collate, colleague, collegiate. What was that looking at? C-O-L-L-O. Colloid. No, come on. C-O-L-L-O-I-D. A gluey substance? The fuck? Really? That is like the worst definition I've ever read of anything. It defines anything if you smash it enough or whatever. Anything can be a colloid, is my personal thesis on life. SOL, number 3, is the sun. Wait, let's go back. SOL, a liquid solution or suspension of a colloid? Suspension of a colloid? Why would you suspend a colloid? From what? From its solid form? Never mind. Don't even worry about it. So Soul number 3 is the sun. That's a noun. Soul number 4 is an abbreviation for soluble or solution. And the last one is SOL, another abbreviation for Solomon, who was a kid I went to high school with who got shot, I guess. Too bad. He's a cool guy. Okay, so sojourn. A temporary stay. So the chief says to Alexander, so be it. Sojourn among us as long as it pleaseth thee. So long as it's temporary, because that's the definition of sojourn. Don't burp on camera. Don't burp on camera. Nice. At the close of this conversation, 2 citizens entered, as into their court of justice. The plaintiff said, oh, so they're trying to talk to the chief, who is at this point there, I guess, the guy who solves problems, which makes sense. It's what they should do. I bought of this man a piece of land, and as I was making a deep drain through it, I found a treasure. This is not mine, for I only bargained for the land and not for the treasure that might be concealed beneath it. And yet the former owner of the land will not receive it. The defendant answered, I hope I have a conscience as well as my fellow citizen. I sold him the land with all its contingent, as well as existing advantages, and consequently the treasure inclusively. The chief, who was at the same time the supreme judge, recapitulated their words in order that the parties might see whether or not he understood them aright. Then, after some reflection, he said, Thou hast a son, friend, I believe? Yes. And thou, addressing the other, a daughter? Yes. Well then, let thy son marry God, things were just so much simpler back then, huh? Well then, let thy son marry thy daughter, and bestow the treasure on the young couple for a marriage portion. Marriage portion, all right. Alexander seemed surprised and perplexed. Think you my sentence unjust? The chief asked him. Oh, no, replied Alexander, but it astonishes me. And how, then, would the case have been decided in your country? To confess the truth, said Alexander, we should have taken both parties into custody and seized the treasure for the king's use. For the king's use, exclaimed the chief. That's a great idea. Let's do that. They then killed the 2, defendant and plaintiff, and never mind. I'm just kidding. That part was a joke. God, I feel like I don't like the lighting in this room. I've been in this room for 6 months. No, that's not true. I was in the hospital for a while. I could walk around and stuff though. Shut the fuck up. Read your thing. Okay. All right. Fine. To confess the truth, we would have seized the treasure and put it to the king's use. For the king's use, exclaimed the chief. Does the sun shine on that country? Oh, yes. Does it rain there? Assuredly. Wonderful. But are there tame animals in the country that live on the grass and green herbs? Yes, many, and of many kinds. Aye, that must then be the cause, said the chief. For the sake of all those innocent animals, the all-gracious being continues to let the sun shine, and the rain drop down on your country, since its inhabitants are unworthy of such blessings. That's fucking great. That's a great story. Hopefully, is that the end of it? Sorry, everything fell out of my book. I don't know if you guys remember that. So I have the introduction and page 10, then I go to page 19, 20, 21, 22, 23. Just hold on. Just edit this part out. 4, 25. Okay, cool. 26, 27, 28, 29, 30, 32, 33, 34, 35, 36, 738. And this is the Great Jewish Short Stories first page. All right. So we'll put that. Oh, what? Where the fuck are these come from? How did I... Oh, okay. So that's actually just one full first story, isn't it? Oh, that's just the introduction. Is a bunch of shit. So, okay. So this whole first part is just the introduction. And I actually read one of the first stories. It's good. It's neat. Good for Alex. All right. I love that story. Let me make sure that there's nothing left on page 41. No, 41 starts out with Hadrian and the Aged Planter. That was a full story. I fucking loved it too. I fucking loved that story. So let's evaluate. Alexander is probably known even then in 1963 when Saul Bellow collected this. So when was that written then? I don't think we're going to find that type of index in this book. Okay, but some old parable, I'm guessing. Maybe it's a true story. That's fucking really funny. I wonder if Alexander killed the chief right after that. I don't know anything about Alexander the Great. I'm Alex the OK. Here's a bookmark. I just found this book in a free library today. This is the beginning of Doonesbury. It's a woman saying, "See you tomorrow night, sir." Fucking Doonesbury. That's good. So, what's the moral of the story? That selfish king guy is a fucking douchebag. I guess. I don't know. So, Alexander's visiting. While he's visiting, he's delighted that they're just eating something that he would consider not only a delicacy, but currency in his place. And they're just fucking eating it, turning it into poo-poo. Because that's what... Never mind. Fucking great. I loved it. And then, right before his eyes, unexpectedly, there is two fellas that need help figuring something out. They're too nice, as the problem is they don't know who this treasure belongs to. I think it's pretty obvious that it would belong to the guy who bought the land. This guy bought some land from this other dude, and he found some treasure there. But he doesn't think it belongs to him, because he only bought the land, not what's underneath the land, which is just, I don't think how land rights work. Doesn't really matter. And the other guy doesn't want it because he sold the property, which is fucking cool. They both are like, I don't want it. He's like, wait, don't you have a kid? And you have a kid? How about your two kids bang? And then we'll give them a present for that. Because, whatever. I guess that's just how you do things. I'm going to try to not overanalyze the decision to force people into marriage, because I wish someone would force me into marriage, I guess. All my life. I didn't have a song ready. What the fuck was I talking about? And so I guess that's the decision. Did they say yes? The two guys are like, fuck yeah, that's great. Oh, so he just says, all right, how about they get married and give them your money? And they're like, oh, that's the last we hear of the plaintiff and the defendant. Assumedly, they both agree and love that idea. And then Alexander's like, whoa, bro. And the chief's like, what? You didn't like that? He's like, man, that's just not how we would have done things. He's like, well, how would you have done it? He's like, well, we would have just taken their shit. We would have just stolen it if they had brought to attention that they had valuables. My sister's calling. We'll call her back in a second. Wrap this up. And then he's like, really? Because the norm there is that they would steal. That the powers that be are just thieving douche faces. And he's like, what? He's like, is there no sun there? He's like, no, there's no sun. Is it a hellish landscape where nothing happens, nothing works over there? He's like, oh, no, it's great. There's like great weather. Everything's beautiful. He's like, oh, well, there must be like animals there because you aren't worth shit. Assuming that God is the one that delivers the rain and the sun. He would only do so, or they would, that thing, whatever God they're discussing, might only do so not for the benefit of humanity, only because there's like some spiders there. It's just a mean, dope burn. I fucking love it. Yeah, I'll play you one song. That's not a good song. I lost my only car. I lost my only leg. I can't drive anything with no car, no leg, and no leg, and no car, no leg. Yeah. Okay. Yeah, that was a good start. Good start. Nice to be back. I just didn't have a book I liked to read. I could have started on this a little while ago. I've had a lot of issues with my mouth, but now I'm able to talk. I can't whistle very good anymore, which is a bummer because I thought I was kind of a good whistler, but having a lot of trouble walking, having a lot of trouble moving my hands and a lot of my body. I think I lost my job. Who knows? Well, let's do this again. This is fun. Is there something I used to do? Anything? This is it? This is what I did, right? I think so.